Choose a luxury vehicle as unique as you at tomwood.com.
Thank you, calling Pop John's Cumberland. This is Kyle speaking.
The pizza's here!
Give me my Papa John's.
The cheese is my favorite. I love the plain.
Is that Supreme?
Good.
I really like
Just a pep.
They scored touchdowns here. You gotta be able to get these guys off the field to get the game. Nice punt.
Yeah.
Two vehicles, same model, same color, same price. The difference? The Tom Wood vehicle is a better value because it comes with our exclusive lifetime powertrain coverage at no cost to you. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com.
All to Eric Clark Activity Center, the site of tonight's MIC Network Game of the Week. Not as full as we are used to, but that is because of COVID-19. Thank you all for tuning in to the MIC Network in this matchup between the Carmel Greyhounds and the Lawrence Central Bears. My name is Christian Notes, joined by Mr. William Matchett and Gabe Brown as our men in the stands. William, first off, how you doing, Will?
And I'm doing great. You know, this is what we've been waiting over a year for, the start of boys basketball, and we have a great matchup on our hands tonight.
You're absolutely right. And just to hop right into it, this Carmel team, they're coming off of their 6th straight sectional before the season got cut off. What do you think they are planning on doing this whole season to get back on top?
You know, it all starts in the off season, getting back in the weight room, and you know, you have guys returning like Brian Waddell and Peter Suter, and they're shooting, you know, 40% beyond the mark, and that's really what they need in this game, you know, if they're looking to win against a strong and decent LC squad.
And as you mentioned, that LC squad is most likely in a rebuilding phase, losing Nigel Pack, losing Dre Davis. That is very crucial to them. What do you think they plan on doing this season compared to Carmel?
You know, as you said, Dre Davis to Louisville, Nigel Pack to Kansas State. You know, they also lose Tay Davis and their coach, Davis, and now under Al Gooden. You know, it's a little bit of a rebuild stage, as you said, but, you know, they have a pretty solid set here. They've got Greg Jenkins and Demarez Merriweather looking at about 20 points per game so far this season, and Josh Mickens, the big man, down low, 15 points per game and 7 rebounds a game. You know, they lost these pieces, but, you know, they still need work, but, you know, they have these returning pieces that can give them that boost to be where they want to be right now.
And I'm very excited to see the result of this game, as I'm sure we all are. Stay tuned for the starting lineups on the MEC Network Game of the Week after a short break.
Tom Wood's lifetime powertrain coverage includes the 4 most important systems in your vehicle for unlimited miles and unlimited time at no cost to you. Protection from expensive repairs for a lifetime. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com.
Thank you, calling Pop Jones. Cumberland, this is Kyle speaking.
The pizza's here.
Choose a luxury vehicle as unique as you at tomwood.com.
Thank you, calling Pop Jones. Cumberland, this is Kyle speaking.
The pizza's here.
Welcome back to the live coverage of the matchup between the Carmel Greyhounds and the Lawrence Central Bears here at the Eric Clark Activity Center at Carmel High School. Once again, I'm Christian Oates, joined by Will Matchett, and we are ready to get these starting lineups tipped off. Starting with the Lawrence Central Bears, we have Brandon Barrett, Greg Jenkins, Demarez Merriweather, Josh Mickens, and Kamari Jones. And the thought of these players, what do you think this LC team is going to be able to do with them, Will?
You know, I'm really excited to see Josh Mickens play tonight. Coming from the football team there at Lawrence Central, you know, you don't see that a lot nowadays, football and basketball players. So I'm excited to see him get down and get dirty in the paint. It's going to be fun to see him.
You're absolutely right. You know, there's sort of a joke with how football players play basketball. They're more physical than everybody else, is what you commonly see. And I think it's great that there are still two-way athletes, two-sport athletes here at the high school level. And going over to the 6-time straight sectional champions, reigning sectional champions, Carmel Greyhounds, we have Connor Joya, Peter Suter, Joshua Wack, Brian Waddell and Charlie Williams. And same thing for this team. Well, what do you think they have to do to stay on top and actually succeed this season? Granted, we get there.
You know, under Coach Osborne, this is a really solid squad all around. They have the shooting outside, and down low they have big men that can handle guys like Josh Mickens, who are big and play football. So I think, you know, really well-rounded team here at Carmel, and you know, season got cut short last year. Who knows who would have won that? But you know, Carmel would have been in that mix for sure.
You're absolutely right. And the last time these two teams played was on December 6th of 2019. The Lawrence Central Bears won 67-41. We will see if anything similar to that happens here as we are getting set for tip-off. It looks like we have Josh Mickens for Lawrence Central and Brian Waddell both ready to tip it off. Stand by for that.
That's what we've been waiting for. Boys basketball back in the mix. Ready to tip it off.
And the Bears win the tip-off in the beginning of this game. Jenkins with the ball, taking it up the court. Hands it over to Jones. Back over to Jenkins. Resetting the offense. The screen set for him, and he passes it over to Jones, Kamari Jones. And Jones sets up for the jumper, but it is no good. The Greyhounds will get the rebound and are on offense now.
Great defense by the Greyhounds right there. Really good possession.
As we see Brian Waddell taking the ball up and passes it to Josh Wack at the left wing. Back over to Waddell for the three-point attempt, and it is good. 3-0. Carmel is up with 7 minutes and 14 seconds left to go in this game.
If LC wants to stay competitive in this game, they need to shut down the three-point line. That's going to be a really big point for them.
Jenkins on the left side. Another screen by Mickens over to Jones on the right wing. Taking his time, calling for another screen. Not able to get around. He's closely guarded right there. And he feeds it over to Barrett on the right wing. Back over to Jenkins. Sizing up his opponent as he goes through the screen. Double team for a second there as he feeds it out to Damaris Merriweather. Merriweather driving into the paint and feeds it out to Jacob Franklin, who takes the shot, but it is no good.
Another great defensive possession there for Carmel.
As we see Josh Wack handing it over to Brian Waddell on the left wing, guarded by Greg Jenkins. Waddell passes it over to Connor Jaya. And then back over to Pete Suter, who gives it to Josh Wack. Back over to Waddell, figuring out what to do, drives in the paint. Feeds it over to Joya. Figuring out what to do is Joya. Joya feeds it into the paint to Charlie Williams, who takes the shot attempt. It is no good as the Bears are on the break.
Offense is struggling here for both teams right now.
As we see Greg Jenkins on the right side, right wing. Pass it over to Josh Mickens. Over to Merriweather, who tries to find his teammate, but there is no one there. Turnover for the play.
Just bad offensive possessions here for the Bears. They need to get it together because Carmel can easily run away with this game.
And we see Kamari Jones and Greg Jenkins guarding his defenders right in the backcourt. A full court press early on as Brian Waddell has the
there he is again.
Attempt. He is 2 for 2 on the three-point, has the only points in the whole game, 6-0 with 5 minutes left to go.
Like I said, they need to watch him and Pete Suter on the outside. Really, really good, shooting both 40% outside. This was last year, and you can be even sure that they're going to be even better this year.
You're absolutely right. As we have Barrett handing it over to Mickens. Mickens then to Merriweather. Merriweather closely guarded, tries to drive to the paint, but that is no good. And goes for the layup attempt. Goes for the contact and is no good. Carmel with the offensive break. And there is a turnover.
Oh, what a pass.
Over to Amari Jones, the first score for the Bears in this game, 6-2 with 4.5 minutes left to go.
This is exactly what they need. Points on the board, that's what they need right now.
Watts taking the ball up the court. feeds it over to Pete Suter, who then gives it back to Joya. Joya once again hands it back over to Pete Suter, who finds Brian Waddell, the man of the night, with 6 points. Waddell trying to find out what to do. He then passes it over to Charlie Williams. Called for the travel. He is closely guarded in the paint. It will be a turnover. Lawrence Central ball.
There's foul number 3.
Oh, excuse me, that was a foul on Brandon Barrett, his first foul of the night. That's another thing that I've noticed a lot in high school basketball recently. There's just fouls that rack up, and you don't want to lose some of your best players in the end of the game.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that. So, I mean, just easily paired. And there's another one.
Charlie Williams for the and one as he is fouled. He will be going to the line.
There's foul number 3, Brandon Barrett.
Another foul on Brandon Barrett. This is exactly what I was talking about. Exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to see 2 fouls in the first quarter, Will.
I mean, just not playing smart. You know, you still have 4 minutes left in the first quarter and 2 fouls already. You know, Coach Gooden is looking to take him out early.
And Charlie Williams converts the and one. The score is 9-2 with just under 4 minutes left in this first quarter of play.
Carmel off to an excellent start.
And Jenkins setting the ball up. Hands it over to Merriweather, who takes the shot attempt, but that is no good. Carmel with the rebound. The big man, Charlie Williams, gets the rebound. Nothing they can do about that. And Brian Waddell drives in for the shot. And that is another and one for this Carmel Greyhounds team. We are seeing lots of physical contact for this Carmel team, but it's working. That's the great thing about it.
Man, Waddell just gets down there with the trees, converting the and one. Tough finish from Waddell.
And the foul will go on Josh Mickens for the Lawrence Central team. And there is a 30-second timeout for the Bears. Their score is 11-2 with 3:37 left here. What do you think the Bears have to do to stay in this one before it gets ugly, Will?
I mean, simply just closing out on the shooters. I mean, look at this Carmel team. Practically everybody on their team can shoot either from the mid-range or from outside. I mean, heck, they can even drive in if they want to and convert, like you guys just saw. So it's really just playing man, getting close on them, and not allowing them to, you know, getting those shots and even driving inside with the help.
And back to that Charlie Williams and one. He is 6'10". There's not much you can do when he is even layup and even stretching the floor for this. It's very interesting to see how the game of basketball has evolved where big men can, if I may say, do anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, you look at big guys in the NBA like Porzingis, Jokic, you know, they can shoot the three, they can back down anybody they want. It's just crazy to see how the game has evolved so much.
It is the era of the unicorn in the NBA as Brian Waddell converts the N1. That is his 9th point on the night. As the Bears are taking the ball up the court, Greg Jenkins trying to size up his defender as he is double teamed by 2 Carmel defenders. Finds his teammate Merriweather on the right wing. Then over to Kamari Jones. Jones trying to drive in, but is once again double teamed. And it looks like the Bears will stay with possession on this one. I believe this is a foul on someone.
Take a look at that matchup down low. Mickens is trying anything he can to get open and get physical with Williams. It's just practically impossible.
You're absolutely right. And I feel like physicality would be the one that really is what it boils down to in this game. A foul on Josh Wack of the Carmel Greyhounds. The first foul for Carmel in tonight's game. And we have Merriweather on the left corner and then finds it over to Greg Jenkins. Once again trying to shake his defender, passing it back over to Merriweather. And it looks like Kamari Jones is trying to drive to the layup right on the baseline, but is no good. He steps out of bounds. Can't make it on that one.
Just putting on a clinic. The Carmel Greyhounds are right now. Defense, defense, defense. 12-2. I mean, the Lawrence Central Bears just have no answer for their defense right now.
And, you know, it's hard to boil it down to this now, but is this what rebuilding looks like? You know, it's what we commonly see for high school teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You know, high school There's not a whole lot of recruiting and such, so, I mean, rebuilding, it could take years and years and years.
And we've seen that for many teams in the state. Some have not even made a state finals appearance. I believe that is the case for the Bears as they make a Carmel, as the Carmel makes a alley-oop attempt. It is no good for that, and the Bears are back on the fast break. Jacob Franklin with the ball, takes the screen once again by Josh Mickens. Slowing it down, taking his time on the offensive possession. Here is Greg Jenkins once again, guarded by Josh Lack. And there's a turnover for the Bears. A steal on that one as Connor Joy takes the ball in a sort of dunked pass over to Pete Suter. They still converted. And Bedell, wide open, hands it over to Charlie Williams, who is once again in the paint. Very nicely guarded, like you said, resulting in the block, and the Bears are back on defense, but they make a bad pass, and it is tipped. Another foul here. Another foul on Josh Wack of the Greyhounds. It is sort of an eye for an eye right here. We have 2 for Josh Wack and 2 for Brandon Barrett. We have Nick Fisher coming in the game. 5 on the floor for the Carmel Greyhounds are Pete Suter, Will Leary, Connor Joya, Pete Suter, and many others, as the Bears are on possession of this one right now.
The Bears, I always say, just a little momentum, and that could just change, what's going on in the game. So let's see if the Bears can get anything going in this possession.
The Bears looking for momentum as Franklin hands it over to Mary Mickens.
Another turnover.
And a turnover, like you said, a charge on that one. And definitely looking right now for these fouls for the Bears. It's looking bad, 4 already. We're not even out of the first quarter, Will.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you just got to play smart and play physical at the same time. But, these fouls, the coaches hate to see it, really.
Yeah, absolutely. As the Greyhounds are on the offensive possession, Pete Suter guarded by many defenders. The Bears are in a man-to-man set right now. Connor Joy on the right wing finds Pete Suter near the half-court line. And we have a three-point attempt by Will Leary. It is no good. And the Bears are on the break. Called for a double dribble. Once again, another turnover for the Bears here. It's very getting ugly. Just under a minute left in this first quarter. 12-2. Carmel up.
Yeah, turnovers hurt. Like I said, fouls, turnovers, the coaches really hate to see it. And, this early in this game, I mean, there should not be this many fouls and turnovers.
As the Greyhounds are on the offensive possession, slowing it down, looks like they are going to dribble out the clock. They're not looking for a shot. And the Greyhounds just passing the ball around in the back corner. Brian Waddell with the ball and finds Connor Joya, guarded by Damaris Merriweather. And Merriweather with the steal, looking for the contact there, but it is no good. Results in a missed layup with 8 seconds left to go.
Got it! Nice.
The three-pointer by Pete Suter. 1 second left.
Man.
And what a great first quarter that we've seen. And here is Gabe Brown, our man in the stands, here to recap it for us.
Let's talk about some big game players. Brian Waddell accounting for 9 of the 12 put up on the leaderboard. Now back to you guys over there because it looks like Carmel is on a roll.
And just looking at this whole first quarter, we've seen a three-point clinic so far. It's very interesting to see what we have so far. Very great game for Brian Waddell, would say, Will.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's got it all going right now. He's got a couple of threes and also just very, very aggressive on the inside.
You're absolutely right. We will send it to you. Hey, Break, get ready for the second quarter.
For a lifetime. Find the car you want the way you want at TomWood.com.
Welcome back to the MIC Network Game of the Week between the Carmel Greyhounds and the Lawrence Central Bears here at the Eric Clark Activity Center at Carmel High School. I am Christian Oates, joined by Will Matchett with Gabe Brown as our man in the stands. The score 15-2, a mere 2, as we're getting ready to start the second quarter. What do the Bears have to do to stay in this game? Honestly, it's hard for them to do that now. What do they do, Will?
You know, it seems really simple, but, you know, it's hard for us to really get it as announcers looking at these basketball players. But simply put, I mean, just closing out the outside. They're getting the threes. You just saw that three from Suter and Brian Waddell lighting it up as well. And, I mean, they have to contain the inside as well. Help defense on the inside, try to contain each other, and, you know, just close out everything.
And we've seen this Bears team guard the Greyhounds very tightly for these past games. We've seen full court presses. We've seen that right now as there is a foul called. This will be called on Jacob Franklin. This is his first one in the night. And something else we've seen is a lot of fouls on the side of the Bears. They're going to have to watch out. 5 fouls in the first quarter alone. They have to watch out before this gets ugly as we have Connor Joy with the ball once again closely
There's another
guarded.
foul.
A foul on number 11, Damaris Merriweather. Many of these Lawrence Central Bears players are racking up fouls, and we just now started the second quarter. Like I mentioned earlier, they have to watch out before it gets ugly. And Brian White,
oh my goodness,
3-point attempt. He scores 18-2. That is his 12th point of the night. He's only scored for threes. Like we mentioned earlier, he's a true example of a unicorn right now, stretching the floor but also able to play physical.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. He has 3 threes, and he also got that and one. I mean, he could just do it all right now.
Absolutely, and the Bears have the ball right now. Jacob Franklin with the ball. Hands it over to Greg Jenkins at the top of the key. Steps back, trying to figure out what to do on his offensive possession. Defender switch, Brian Waddell guarding him. We see Carmel in a man-to-man set right now as Jacob Franklin drives in and passes it over to Greg Jenkins, who then makes a 3-point attempt. And it looks like there was a foul on the rebound attempts, and the Bears will stay with possession of that one. That will be a foul on Nick Frisch, his first in the game. Brian Waddell subbed out of the game. Pete Suter coming in his place. And the Bears are passing into the ball. We have Jenkins passing it in over to.
Oh, great take.
Over to Merriweather for the beautiful layup. That's what Jelly as a kid's called so far.
I mean, this is what they need right now. You know, a few points here and there, and they can get back in this game, but it starts on the defensive end.
Looking at the score, they got to do that 7 more times as the Greyhounds make it look so much easier. Bryce Beery for the basket, his first points of the night.
You know, I just said you got to score and get some stops. That's exactly what they didn't do. I mean, you just got to close out and help each other out on the defensive end.
It must be difficult without the star players that you're used to if you're Al Gooden, the coach of the Lawrence Central Bears, as there is a layup made by Jacob Franklin. It is good, his first points of the night. With 6 minutes and 10 seconds left to go. 20-6, Greyhounds are up in this one. And finding Pete Suter over for that one. Passes it over to Will Leary for the 3-point attempt. That is no good. The Bears are once again on the break, and we have Gene Houghton, who then finds a foul. And it looks like this will be called on Will Leary, his first of the night. You know, we were talking about this just a second ago with the Bears. These fouls will be racking up, 5 and you get fouled out on the high school level. It's very scary if you're any team right now.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's one of your better and more experienced players, like for Al Gooden and the Bears, Brandon Barrett, he already has 2, and I'm sure he won't be seeing a lot of playing time in the second quarter because of it.
You're right. Foul trouble is definitely a scary thing, especially for veterans. You think they have the discipline level, but it must just be a lapse in judgment for this game as the Bears have the ball. Greg Jenkins with it, and then pass it over to Damaris Merriweather, driving into the paint, going for the layup, and that is good for the and one. That was a beautiful shot right there. You know, we've seen some great layups for the Bears so far, as much as we've seen, 6 points so far. Let's hope they can add more. Oh, correction there. The shot was no good on that one.
Yep, called it on the floor. Horrible
and the missed
shot
selection leads to the Greyhounds in possession right now. Pete Suter looking for the crossover.
Man,
takes
what a
the
move.
shot. The midi right there. Pete Suter with the basket. The Bears have to figure out what they can do with 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. It's very tough right now. Their players need to step it up. Their veterans, their new guys, somebody needs to do something.
Yeah, this Carmel team is just rolling. There's another turnover for LC. What a pass.
And finding Bryce Beery for the beautiful basket, his second point of the night, as we have a timeout on the floor.
30-second timeout.
There will be a 30-second timeout. The MIG Network welcomes the Tom Wood Automotive Group as our newest partner. If you are looking for a new Nissan, Toyota, Lexus, or one of the other 9 brands that they sell, let the exceptional team at Tom Wood help you find your next car, or even keep the car that you now drive in tip-top shape. Check out all of their locations at tomwood.com.
Man, make me want to go out and get a car right now, Christian.
Me too. I mean, I got one now. I need more. Rack up my garage.
Yeah.
And so far in this game, 24-6, it's very tough. And you emphasize the rebuilding phase that these Bears might be in. It's tough. You never want to lose any games, but sometimes it's for the better of the cause.
You look at this team right now. We keep talking about how they lost Dre Davis, Nigel Pack, Tay Davis. These guys, I mean, you look at last year's team compared to this year. Those guys, Dre Davis, Nigel Pack, I mean, they were like significant leaders for this team. And you just see right now it's so slow and lethargic, and they just can't get an offense going. I mean, Carmel just running away, and there's another steal.
Another turnover.
Oh, man, throw it down, big fella.
Dunk. That was such a gem right there by Brian Waddell. He is definitely the one to look for in this match, the one to stop if you are the Lawrence Central Bears.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. He's rolling. He's on fire, as you would say in NBA Jam.
And another turnover. Oh, excuse me. It looks like the Greyhounds touched it right before it went out. It almost resulted in another turnover on that one. Consider the Bears lucky, right?
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. Look at this. Great steal by Suter behind the back. Great dish to Waddell. Throw it down, big fella.
That was definitely a beautiful assist, a beautiful jam coming off of the steal. We play basketball together, Will, and I'm a defensive guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I will stick it to you, make you work for it, and I love steals. It's my favorite type of play.
I mean, that's exactly what you do out there, Christian.
I thought I saw myself. I was like, I'm not playing for Carmel. And we have the Bears passing it in. And we have Jacob Franklin taking the ball up from backcourt. Finds Jenkins on the right wing, who then drives it in. Goes for the layup attempt, but it is rebounded by his teammate, Gene Hooten. The shots from Kamari Jones in the right corner, but there was a whistle before he could take the shot. Greyhounds ball.
Another turnover. That counts 6 right now for LC. They have to contain this. They're already down 20, and if this keeps going on, I mean, who knows what this game could look like in the end.
Turnovers are missed point opportunities, and that is definitely what they need right now. If they just scored once for each of those, they would have definitely been in a better position in this game. As we have the shot attempt by Pete Suter, that is no good, and recovered by the Bears, who are now on the break. Greg Jenkins taking it up, driving it in,
nice
finds
pass.
his teammate, passing it along the baseline. That was a beautiful pass right there. Merriweather passes it over to Gene Hooten. And Merriweather for the
nice
shot,
shot,
and that is good. The shot is good by Josh Mickens.
That was great transition defense by the Greyhounds, but somehow the Bears were able to convert on that.
You're absolutely right, and the Greyhounds figuring out what to do. Connor Joya passing it out to Pete Suter once again for the three-point attempt. And a 2-on-1 for the fast break. Oh,
got it!
And one. That was Gene Hooten, guarded by Connor Joya, converting the shot. Let's see if he can make the free throw to make the and one complete.
That is a great possession, both defensively and then back on the offensive end. Tough finish there for Hooten.
Absolutely right, as that is Connor Joya's second foul. Now, we mentioned that the Bears were in foul trouble. Now the Greyhounds have 7 fouls compared to the 6 of the Bears. Now, the Bears are now in the bonus.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? This could come back and get them, but right now, if they keep up keeping aggressive on the offensive end, then, they don't really have to worry about fouls.
Well, let's sure hope they can come back as Gene Hooten makes the ball. Demarius Merriweather is subbed into the game for Jacob Franklin. And we once again see this full court press by the Bears. It sort of hasn't worked so far, but you never know if anything could change for them to make something happen.
Yeah, I mean, you got to try something. You have to try some things, and if something works, and here comes the pressure, wide open Waddell.
Sadly, the pressure leads into an open Brian Waddell shot. He is lighting it up right now. His 16th point of the night.
So you look at that, and I don't know, maybe they should back off. If if they're coming to double and you get a wide open Waddell, that's almost a guaranteed make right there.
You're absolutely right. And we have Kamari Jones trying to sauce up his
nice
defender.
Move.
Goes up for the shot, but it is stopped 2 times in a row. And the Greyhounds are back on the offensive possession. And Connor Joy, looking to find his teammate, hands in his face, finds Charlie Williams, who then takes the layup. He's on the ground as the Bears have a 5-on-4. Williams need to get back,
nice
and
pass.
It leaves Demarius Merriweather for the open 3. But that shot is no good.
One man down the court for the Bears.
And we have Pete Suter taking the ball up. And there is a turnover on the side of the Greyhounds. And now a turnover on the side of the Bears for a...
come on!
A Pete Suter to Brian Waddell. Alley-oop.
You've got to be kidding me.
My throat is going to be gone tonight. I'm yelling already. The first half isn't even over. That was such a great alley-oop on the side of the Greyhounds. Great assist for the missed shot attempt. Charlie Williams is stuffed up right there. Let's see if they can do something with it, though. That is no good. Once again, no good. Like I mentioned, Charlie Williams, the biggest man on the floor, the junior at 6'10". And looking back at this beautiful alley-oop.
Look at this.
This is great passive vision from Pete Suter,
Beautiful.
The junior 6'5" guard, it's great. It's something great that you want to see in a basketball player. The vision to find his open teammates, especially for something, a great finish like that.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Just being able to have that basketball IQ as a junior in high school, 6'5", able to get it up there, perfect for Waddell to just throw it down. And on the other end, you see Williams with just beautiful block, beautiful defense on Mickens.
Well, we're starting to see some great play from both sides as the first 3 points for Josh Mickens is no good. And Connor Joy will be subbed out of the game for Blake Burke-Wody, And Merriweather going 1 for 2 at the line. And Brian Waddell taking the ball up the court. Back to his teammate Suter, who is intercepted. That's the thing. And we have Demarius Merriweather able to convert that with the hand in his face. I was honestly scared to see how he was going to convert that fast break.
Yeah, I mean, you got 3 Carmel Greyhounds down here, and he was just smart, used the pump fake to his advantage, and got the points. This is a little bit of momentum. Timeout here.
And we have a replay of the steal as the Greyhounds take a 30-second timeout. It was such a beautiful steal, resulting in the basket. I'm glad to see that the Bears are sort of shifting up the tide, and we want to thank the MIC athletic directors for their continued support of the MIC Network Game of the Week. It would not be possible without them, and especially in the times that we're living in. It's so great that we're still able to continue to do what we love, come out to these games, get these streamed out to you so you can enjoy them.
Like I said, it's just a blessed opportunity to be here in this gym right now. I know, a couple months ago, we were thinking, there might not even be a season, but we're here now. We just have to soak it in while it lasts.
You're absolutely right. As we have the Greyhounds on the offensive possession, a minute and 15 seconds left to go in the second quarter of this game. Greyhounds taking the ball up. That is Burke Weldy, closely guarded by Gene Hooten. The ball is taken away from him and almost, we have Pete Suter down on the floor hard as a open three-point attempt by Jacob Franklin, which is no good. Peter Suter on the rebound. The Euro step attempt, which is no good. But then back to Bryce Berry getting the rebound, putting the ball back up for the basket for his teammate.
I mean, that's unacceptable. You can see Coach Gooden is just frustrated down there. You know, no transition defense for the Bears, and they get the offensive rebound, and easy too for the Greyhounds.
Berry's 6th point of the night as Mickens passes the ball over to Gene Hooten, who then makes a three-point attempt, 32-7, with just under 25 seconds left to go. And the Greyhounds taking the ball up. Pete Suter right here, closely guarded by Damaris Merriweather, locking him
great
up.
Defense.
And Merriweather with the steal. Let's see what he can do. Going for the mid-range, the free throw shot right there. That is no good. Greyhounds seeing if they can do anything before the clock runs out. Brian Waddell with the ball, and he gets the contact that he's looking for right there.
Yeah, this is a crazy last 10 seconds here. A couple of turnovers, and we'll see what the Greyhounds do here. I believe they are going to the line, Brian Waddell.
The foul going on Jacob Franklin, his second one of the night. You know, we're definitely seeing the tide turn for this Bears team in this game. As Waddell here has the free throw, and it looks like there is a lane violation, I believe, on that one. So he will be taking the second shot, and 1.3 seconds left to go after this one. Waddell for the second free throw attempt, going 1 for 2 on that one with 1.3 seconds left to go in this half. As we have Greg Jenkins with the shot. And we've seen a great half so far. Well, you know, we started out definitely not believing in the Lawrence Central Bears, but now they're down exactly by their point amount, 17 times 2, 34. Let's see if they can come back in the second half, you know.
You know, they had really good momentum at the end of this quarter. So, you know, they cut it to 17, and, you know, they just need to get it together in the second half. You know, Coach Gooden, I'm sure he has a lot to say to his team in that locker room right now. But just
and while Coach Gooden talks to his Lawrence Central players, we will see what Mr. Gabe Brown, our man in the stands, has to talk about for us.
With Lawrence Central never really finding their defensive structure, Carmel's having an absolute field day. Brian Waddell with over 20 points, accounting for over half of the team's score. Now let's see if there's going to be any changes during the halftime, and maybe even a close game. Back to you guys on commentary.
Thank you, Gabe, as we take a look at some highlights from this beautiful first half. The jam, and one by Brian Waddell from the beginning of the game. And we've seen a lot of Brian Waddell. You know, I think this is what the Greyhounds are going to have to go through if they want to stay in this game.
You know, 20-point first half from Waddell. Just keep giving him the ball. He's taking over, and
a great half behind us, a great half ahead of us. Stay tuned for the MEC Network Game of the Week.
She's my favorite. I love the plane.
Is that Supreme?
Good.
I really like it.
Just a pep.
They scored touchdowns here. You gotta be able to get these guys off the field to get the nice punt. Yeah.
Tom Wood's lifetime powertrain coverage includes the 4 most important systems in your vehicle for unlimited miles and unlimited time at no cost to you. Protection from expensive repairs for a lifetime. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com. At Tom Wood, we believe you can't put a price on peace of mind, so we don't. With Tom Wood's lifetime powertrain coverage, you're protected for unlimited miles and unlimited time, all at no cost to you. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com.
Thank you, calling Pop John's Cumberland. This is Kyle speaking.
The pizza's here. I know, right?
Choose a luxury vehicle as unique as you at tomwood.com.
Welcome back to the MIC Network Game of the Week between the Carmel Greyhounds and the Lawrence Central Bears here at Carmel High School. The score of the game 34-17 as Carmel is in the lead in this one. I'm Christian Oates, joined by Will Matchett, and what we've seen so far is a very great performance by Pete Suter.
Oh yeah, him and Brian Waddell, really this whole Greyhounds team just able to crash the glass and get back on the other end. I mean, we've seen a couple alley-oops, couple dunks, I mean, multiple threes on the outside, and just putting on a clinic.
You're honestly making it look like the Lob City Clippers out there, you know. Brian Waddell, 20 points so far, leading his team, leading the whole game. But on the side of the Bears, it is sort of a more balanced team effort, you know. Everybody has something which adds up to their 17.
Yeah, it's been difficult in this first half for them, but, you know, they were starting to get it together in that second quarter. But, I mean, we just can't stop talking about the Greyhounds enough. Brian Waddell, like you said, 20 points. He had about 3 threes, and he's just been really aggressive, taking his shots. And on the other end, the Bears, you know, they're just trying to stay alive, fighting for their lives right now. But, you know, like I said, that second quarter, they started to get it together, started to find their little mojo. And, you know, who knows? Coach Gooden could be in there giving a Hoosiers speech right now, get them going, and, you know, we could have a pretty good second half in store.
You know, it seems like that's honestly what they're going to need if they want to stay in this game. They're down 17, and it's very easy to say that the Greyhounds are definitely going to run the score up very easily. And one that I want to mention is Charlie Williams, the 6'10 junior. He's been doing it on offense and on the defense, has some blocks over there. He's one of the ones that we aren't talking about as much, but I definitely like the performance from him.
Oh, he's making a huge impact, especially on the defensive end. I mean, they can't handle it down in the trees. It's been a struggle for the Bears.
You know, he is the monster in the paint. You know, he sort of reminds me of, you know, one of the Monstars from Space Jam. He's a big defender. Chris Mullins, to be exact, you know, he's just a great defender. He's having a great performance tonight alongside his teammates Pete Suter, Brian Waddell, and we have our man in the stands, Gabe Brown, here to give us a recap of the first half.
Lawrence Central coach Al Gooden is no new face when it comes to high-intensity games. He ranks 11th in all-time coaches for Indiana who are active right now with over 450 wins. So let's see if he can tell his team to change something or tweak something during halftime. But the bigger question is, will Carmel come back and carry that momentum from the first half into the second? Back to you guys.
Thank you, Gabe, for the great analysis. The score 31-17. The Greyhounds are up. Stay tuned for the second half of action in this one. You're watching the MIC Network Game of the Week.
Thank you, calling Pop Jones. Cumberland, this is Kyle speaking.
The pizza's here.
Give me my Papa John's.
The cheese is my favorite. I love the plain.
Is that supreme?
I really like it.
Just depends.
They scored touchdowns here. You gotta be able to get these guys off the field to get the game.
Nice punt.
Two vehicles, same model, same color, same price. The difference? The Tom Wood vehicle is a better value because it comes with our exclusive lifetime powertrain coverage at no cost to you. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com.
Welcome back to the MIC Network Game here at Carmel High School. The score 34-17.
Can you ask
Carmel
them
Greyhounds
if they want me to be a player in the game this year?
Joined by my man Will Matchett, the Will Matchett, and who do you think the Bears need to go through to come back for the win in this one?
You know, looking in that first half, I really liked Merriweather and Jenkins. They both really had good ball movement and they stayed aggressive, even if they're down 20 plus. So yeah, I really like Merriweather. He's been really aggressive on the defensive end and being able to convert on the offensive end.
And something that we've seen on both sides is definitely lots of fouls. I believe both teams got into the bonus near the end of the first half. And free throws, you never want to give the other team free point opportunities. So what do you think both teams have to change to make sure they don't send the teams to the line?
Like you said, free throws. Free is the key word there. You don't want to give those up. Just play smart, like I've been saying all game. Play smart, but play aggressive at the same time. You don't want to foul. You don't want to have 5+ fouls in a quarter. That's kind of ridiculous. You got to just kind of back off and just play smart.
And the slate is clean. The Bears starting off the second half with the missed shot attempt. We have Joshua Wack handing it over to Connor Joya to take the ball down the court. The screen set by Brian Waddell, passing it back over to Joshua Wack for the three-point attempt.
I mean, great start for the Greyhounds in the second half. They already have a three-pointer.
And that shot is good. They are definitely going to need to stop that if you are the Lawrence Central Bears, as they are now on the offensive side. Damaris Merriweather going to tip it over, passing it over to his teammate Josh Mickens, but it is tipped, and we have him in the paint for the basket attempt, but that is no good. Pete Suter driving it in.
Oh.
Getting the contact that he was looking for, flailing for that one.
Hard foul.
Very hard foul, but it looks like it's paying off. Pete Suter sent to the line. The foul is on Damaris Merriweather. Another player in this game with 2 fouls on the night. You know, based off the way this is going, some of them got 2 fouls just in the first half alone, or in 1 quarter alone, excuse me, too. That can be very easily leading to many players fouled out.
Yeah, it can. I mean, you know, the fouls can just rack up, and sometimes you can't even realize it half the time. So, I mean, just smart basketball. You just have to back off and hands up, just play smart and really good defense.
As Pete Suter goes a solid 100% at the line, and the Bears now are back on the possession. Greg Jenkins trying to shake up his defender with some dribble moves, finding his teammate Kamari Jones, who then feeds it over to Brandon Barrett, who then finds Josh Mickens.
Oh, nice
goes
finish.
Up for the shot and gets the and one.
Josh Mickens down there in the trees trying to hang with Charlie Williams, and he got that one. He's been struggling all night against him. Great back down and one finish. Let's see if he can convert here.
And Josh Mickens, the 6'5" sophomore, not able to convert the free throw. And it looks like there is a foul on Damaris Merriweather somehow. And Coach Al Gooden was definitely not happy on that one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of his best players tonight already has 3. You know, he's going to be looking to take him out here soon.
As I mentioned, fouls have been coming easily in this game. As we have Pete Suter, top of the key, shaking the defender.
Oh, man, what a move.
For the mid-range shot right there.
Getting down to the nitty-gritty, Pete Suter.
That would be Pete Suter's 9th point on the night, as we have Greg Jenkins taking the ball up the court on the right wing, driving it in, taking the layup attempt, and that is no good. Josh Mickens going for the rebound attempt alongside Charlie Williams, but that is no good, and the Bears will retain possession in this one.
And Greyhounds just shaking and baking right now.
Absolutely right, as Brandon Barrett takes the semi-deep 3-point attempt. That is no good. The big man, Charlie Williams, with the rebound, feeds his teammate, Peter Suter.
There he is.
Brian Waddell, the man.
No
the missed 3-point attempt. If I'm correct, that is his first miss of the night.
He's
been almost perfect.
Rare sighting. I know we were expecting that one to go in.
I wish he didn't shoot it. You know, want to keep him half 100%, honestly. As Josh Mickens finds his teammates, then the ball lands over to Damaris Merriweather. And there's a foul called on the floor.
You know, something to notice in the second half so far, Josh Mickens really getting aggressive with Charlie Williams. Williams looks really frustrated that he's getting taken out of the game, but really smart job by Mickens to, you know, put Williams in foul trouble, get somebody else on him. That's not 6'10".
They would definitely need that, as they have a 21-point deficit, if I'm right. I don't have a calendar on me right, or a calculator. Excuse me. It's tough to figure out what they need in a game like this. You know, it could get better,
yeah,
but it also could get very ugly. And you know, it's not the blink of an eye, snap like that.
Yeah, that's how the first quarter was. I mean, Carmel just off to a great start, and they took off, and you know, we're here now. They're down by a lot.
As we mentioned, we don't want the Greyhounds to put more points in the basket, but the ball is turned over as the foul was called on Damaris Merriweather, his 4th foul of the night.
Oh, wow. If I'm correct, that is 8 turnovers for LC so far.
That is unbelievable, as Merriweather is taken out of the game. You don't want him in foul trouble, and it honestly might not see him for the rest of this game.
Yeah, I mean, it could come down to the last 3 minutes. If they can cut it down, we could see him again, but you know what it's looking like so far, just like right there, we might not see him if the Carmel Greyhounds keep rolling.
You know, a great basket by Joshua Wack, weaving through traffic for the layup, putting the ball up there and getting the basket. 43-19, your score. And we have Gene Hoot aggressively dribbling the ball against Connor Joya, trying to find his teammate. None of them are getting open. He finally finds Kamari Jones, who then feeds it back over to Gene Hooten.
You can see they're trying to get it to Josh Mickens down low. He's fighting down there, and it looks like, I mean, he could be their only answer right now.
He Shout out to DJ Khaled. He's their key to success, if I may. They definitely need to feed Josh Mickens as long as he does not get into foul trouble once again.
Yeah, watch out for him down low. You can see him fighting, getting aggressive with all of the Greyhounds.
He's taking on every single one of the defenders. He's not afraid, and that's what the Bears need in this one. And the Bears getting it over to Gene Hoon on the left wing. And we have Greg Jenkins finding his teammate Greg Hoon once again for the three-point attempt. The shot is no good. Pete Suter on the rebound, then pass it over to Connor Joya for the layup attempt.
And Carmel got it.
Greatly getting the rebound back. Pete Suter with the ball.
Oh,
trying
nice
to drop
block.
that ball, but he is basically stuffed right there. Hand right on the ball, fingertip right there. And the Greyhounds will retain possession on this one. That was one of the best defensive sets that we've seen from the Bears. You know, they definitely need more of that. They need stops.
Yeah, that's all Coach Gooden can ask for right now. Stops and on the other end baskets.
Now let's just hope that the Greyhounds aren't able to break that down if we are on the side of the Bears.
Yeah.
But you know that we are all Team Mick, as we always say.
Of course.
Brian Waddell drives the ball and passes it over to Pete Suter. Connor Joy on the left wing. Finds his teammate Pete Suter for the three. That is no good as Josh Mickens has the rebound. Passes it over to Greg Jenkins at the top of the key. Back over to Josh Mickens. Then to Jacob Franklin on the right wing. Trying to set himself up for a point opportunity. Steps back right there. Figuring out what to do.
Oh, nice
Trying
steal.
to feed his teammate Josh Mickens. But Brian Waddell is right there. Brian Waddell 6'7". It's not easy to pass over that.
The unicorn.
I'm not exactly sure why he would do that. It's Kristaps Porzingis
I
right
know.
there.
Look at those arms. You can't get a ball past those.
Connor Joy dribbling his defender. Passes it over to Josh Wack, who then passes it back. And now back over to Josh Wack on the left corner. Finds Pete Suter. Slowing it down. Connor Joy on the left wing. Finds Pete Suter, but there is a turnover on the side of, excuse me, it was a foul. Foul called on Pete Suter, his second on the night. Once again, the story of my life. Many fouls called on almost every player tonight.
Yeah, there's been a lot of fouls, simply put, and I know both coaches have to be frustrated with it. I know whether you're up 20 plus or you're down 20 plus.
I'm not sure the discipline for many fouls in a game, but there's definitely some running as there is a turnover on the play. The Greyhounds will now get possession. 43-19 your score with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the third quarter of this game. And Connor Joya taking the ball up, guarded by Gene Hooten, who then finds Pete Suter on the left side. The screen by Nick Frisch. The three-point attempt by Brian Waddell, and that, definitely something that we're not used to seeing by Brian Waddell. It's, you know, it's definitely tough seeing that, but it might give the Bears hope in this one, honestly.
Yeah, I know. Seeing 20-point Waddell miss a couple threes, I mean, you know, they're thinking, hey, this is our chance right here. See?
Absolutely right. As the Greg Jenkins layup attempt is blocked by the rim, honestly, and there's a whistle on that right there. It looks like there's going to be a foul on Nick Frisch of the Carmel Greyhounds. That'll be his second foul on the night. The Mick Network welcomes back Papa John's as a partner in bringing you the best high school sports coverage in Central Indiana. The Papa John's team is ready to cover your hungry at over 30 area locations. When you're ready for better pizza, make sure you order Papa John's, my favorite pizza restaurant. Just go to papajohns.com.
You know what I had before we're here commentating?
Pizza Hut?
No, not Pizza Hut.
Papa John's?
Yes, it was Papa John's.
We all love Papa John's here at the Mick Network. And even on the east side, you know, there's a lot of love towards Papa John's. And we will take a quick break. More of the action coming back to you on the Mick Network Game of the Week.
2 vehicles, same model, same color, same price. The difference? The Tom Wood vehicle is a better value because it comes with our exclusive lifetime powertrain coverage at no cost to you. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com.
Welcome back to the MIC Network Game of the Week here at Carmel High School. The score 43-20 with Carmel driving the steering wheel, keeping their foot on the gas, taking a look at this Carmel bench. Brian Waddell, Pete Suter, Charlie Williams, they are the ones sort of in control of this game, taking it, like I mentioned, in the driver's seat, helping them stay in the lead.
I know. They're playing just great all-around basketball right now, and I want to point out just their whole athletics program in general. I'm going to ask you a question. How many state championships do you think they've won, every sport, since 1970?
I was trying to cheat with this sign with the state championships. Is it over 50?
Way
probably
over 50.
Way over 50?
Yes.
70 something?
I'm going to go ahead and tell you. 171 state championships since 1970. And this year, they won boys tennis and girls cross country as well. And I mean, what we're looking at right now, they could have a third one this year in the boys basketball.
Right. They were looking for that last year, but the season was cut short due to COVID-19. 100-plus state championships. That is a great school athletically right there, as we have a athletic play by Josh Wack, the layup, but that is no good. The Bears are on the break. Greg Jenkins taking the ball up. Brendan Barrett feeding it over back to Greg Jennings, who resets the offense. Goes on the right wing and passes it over to his open teammate Brandon Barrett for the three-point attempt, but that is no good. Some contact right there, as there is a foul called.
Greyhound foul number 31, Nick Frisch.
The foul will be called on Nick Frisch, his third. Once again, foul trouble is honestly the name of this game. None of the teams want to see any of their players get fouled out, but it's very tough to see that happen.
Looking at the Bears right now, yes, they are in foul trouble, but really, I mean, all Coach Gooden is asking for, shoot the ball. I mean, what else can you lose right now? You're down 23. Try to get something going. Here's a three. No good.
No good on that one, as the ball is magically almost tipped back to the Bears, but the Greyhounds are able to retain possession as Brian Waddell passes it over to Josh Wack for the three. Once again, no good from the corner. And we have Kamari Jones taking the ball up, driving in from the left wing for the layup attempt. And we mentioned foul trouble. We see Damaris Merriweather sort of looking comfortable on the bench, sitting after 4 fouls. I'm interested to see if Coach Gooden chooses to put him back in the game. You never know.
If the 5 in right now can get close, then you might see him. You might not. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely right. As Brian Weddle backs up his defender, waits for him to bite. He gets it, gets the layup. That is his 22nd point on the night with just under 50 seconds left to go in this third quarter.
We just can't stop talking enough about Brian Weddle just playing great basketball tonight, both on the offensive end and defensive end.
And another turnover from the side of the Bears right there. The almost three-point attempt by Bryce Berry, but goaltending is called on Josh Mickens. It was definitely, almost saw a block by James moment right there. It looked like it for a second, but just not enough timing on that one. Not the right timing from Josh Mickens.
I mean, from a defensive end, he got up. I was looking to see a block right there, but unfortunately, the goaltending was called.
And we have the Bears on the offensive possession right here. 47-20 with 20 seconds and counting in this third quarter. Greg Jenkins trying to shake up his defender, then pass it over to Gene Hooten, who then finds Kamari Jones at the top of the key. Pass it over to Greg Jenkins, goes for the layup, and that is good. And as time runs out, we have another Carmel shot attempt, the last one by Connor Joy, but that is no good. But before we start the fourth quarter of action, we, of course, have to send it to our man in the stands, Gabe Brown. Gabe, what you got?
With both teams being in a deadlock, we didn't see anything too special. Now, Lawrence Central was trying to play in the paint, and the players were actually getting out and they're shooting from the three. And you can see Coach Goodham, he was getting mad with the players because they weren't hitting their shots. Now, simply, let's see if we can see a tide of change and maybe some scores.
Thank Colin Pop Jones. Cumberland, this is Kyle speaking.
The pizza's here.
Tom Wood's lifetime powertrain coverage includes the 4 most important systems in your vehicle for unlimited miles and unlimited time at no cost to you. Protection from expensive repairs for a lifetime. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com.
Welcome back to the MIG Network Game of the Week here at Carmel High School. The Carmel Greyhounds taking on the Lawrence Central Bears in control of this one, 47-22. I am Christian Oates, joined by Will Matchett and Gabe Brown as our men in the stands. And Will, we've seen so many fouls in this one, and Carmel is almost in the bonus right now, beginning of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, fouls is the name of the game right now. Even for both teams, you see Carmel up big time, 25, and here's a 3.
And the missed shot attempt right there, the missed 3 points. And Greg Jenkins takes the ball up, pass it over to William Watts.
Oh, nice finish from Mickens.
And one by Josh Mickens. The football man getting in the, didn't you mention earlier that he would be physical, he'd be going in for the and ones into the paint, getting those great baskets?
Yeah, if you're Coach Gooden, I mean, you love to see this right now from, probably the most important player in the game right now for your team, staying aggressive and still, attacking the basket, trying to get those points even down big time to the Greyhounds.
And the thing about physical play, big risk, big reward. You never know if you could get a foul, but there's also the opportunity for the N1 and to convert the N1, which is what Josh Mickens does right there, 47-25, with 7.5 minutes left to go in regulation.
Talking about Josh Mickens, this season, 23 solo tackles, 56 total, and 3 sacks on the season. That's pretty impressive for a sophomore.
Absolutely right. He has such a career ahead of him, both for basketball and football, and what we did not see as a very successful season for the Lawrence Central Bears. They have chances to do great next season as a 3 from Greg Jenkins. That is his 6th point of the night.
Cut it to 19, little momentum here, and, down by 19 now, so let's see if they can keep it rolling, try to get some points and stops.
Good math right there, too. And we have Connor Joya with the ball. And there is a foul called on Gene Hooten. That is his first of the night. Something rare to see a first foul. There are few players left in this game as Carmel has one more foul until they're in the bonus shooting those easy free throws.
Yep, they call them free for a reason. It's supposed to knock them down. Easy points.
Exactly. They don't want those free points. The deals of Black Friday are over as we have Will Leary passing it over to Connor Joya, trying to drive it in, getting the contact back over to Pete Suter on the right wing. Resets it right there, stepping back, passing it over to Leary on the right wing.
Good defense here from the Bears.
They're clamping up as Joya is guarded by Gene
Oh, nice
Hooten.
pass from Joya.
And the beautiful pass over to Nick Frisch.
Joya, he hasn't been putting up the points, but he's been playing great defense, and he's made some great passes like you guys just saw.
A great pass right there. Dimer Hall of Fame as the Bears are back on offense, looking to see what they can do, but they need to get some defensive stops as well.
Oh, nice move. Couldn't get
almost beautiful move,
what
but
a
the
putback.
great putback from Brandon Barrett. Looks like he's playing tips right there as the Greyhounds are back on the 2-on-2 guard right there. And we have Will Leary taking his time, going into the paint, then passing it back out to Connor Joya at the top of the key. Driving it over to the right side, but is no good. Trying to get those drive-bys right there, but it's not good. Very great defense that we're seeing from the Bears in this fourth quarter. They need it a lot much more.
Oh, the double.
And Mickens sending the double right there, going for the steal. The ball was loose for a second, but it looks like it was not successful. And there is a foul called on Greg Jenkins.
That's his first, surprisingly, from what we've seen tonight.
It is very surprising. Like I mentioned, the players with 0 fouls are being very bare right now. We're not seeing it that much longer anymore.
And subbing in for Hooten is our man Merriweather. Back in the game with 4 fouls. He's got to be smart.
I would just stay away from everybody. Social distance on both offense and defense. You know the rules. Oh, and the dime right there.
There's a foul.
From Pete Suter over to Nick Frisch, but resulting in the foul. You know, like we mentioned, free throws sending the Greyhounds to the line. One more foul for both teams, and they're both going into the bonus. And the first free throw from Nick Frisch is good. That is his 3rd point of the night. And let's see if he can make it 4 with this second free throw.
Bears just have to keep on fighting, you know, getting stops and getting a great transition offense back the other way. Quick points. There's 5 minutes left in this game. You never know what can happen.
They got to do it. 21, down 21. These Bears they have to do something offensively and defensively as Mickens passes the ball over to Jenkins on the left wing. Jenkins resetting the offense, figuring out what to do. Their time is running out, however. They have to do something.
Need some scores, need some buckets here. There's no time to waste resetting your offense. You just got to go.
Jenkins back on the wing, fast it over to Mickens.
There's the man,
Mickens for the mid-range shot.
I know Coach Gooden, he's very impressed with how Mickens has played tonight.
You're absolutely right. You know, he is one of the players that we were looking out for this game, expecting to see a great performance. And Mickens has 8 points on the night. A great job to him so far. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret is out about one of Indianapolis's best hotel choices. The Marriott East team will help make sure you are safe and secure during your stay with amenities like the Skylight Bistro and the Business Center. Everything you need is right there on site. You heard me right. And at the Marriott East, a great stay doesn't have to cost a great deal of money. The next time you need a hotel room or a safe place to hold your meeting, well, contact the folks at the Marriott East, located just off Shaylin on 21st Street in Indianapolis.
Great place. I've been there.
We love it, right?
Definitely recommended the Mick Network. We love it there.
I went to a senior party right there. What do they call them? Whatever it is, senior event this year. It was very fun. We were safe and social distancing, of course, but I was glad to celebrate. It was a very great event there as we get back into this game. 51-32, 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. These Bears need to do something. They need to get the points on the board while also stopping the Greyhounds, but also while making sure they don't put more fouls on the board.
Yeah, fouls, you know, you don't want to foul because, like you said, one more and they're right in the bonus. And that's what you don't want to see when you're Coach Gooden.
Beery with the ball. Pass it over to Joya as we once again see this full court press from the Lawrence Central Bears on defense. And Joya,
there's a steal.
The ball is tipped out by William Watts over to Josh Mickens.
And there's a travel.
Mickens called for a travel on that one. The basket attempt will not be good for that one. He almost had it. That was almost a great play attempt.
Yeah, it was. I mean, staying aggressive, but just too many steps on that one.
That's the thing about being a football player. You got to remember, football, you can take as many as you want as long as you're in bounds. Basketball, if you're holding the ball, pass it, shoot it, do whatever you need to. But if you don't, it's a turnover.
Yeah.
And we see the Carmel Greyhounds in the bonus right now. 7 fouls right now. Connor Joya here to take the shots. And giving these Greyhounds the free throws here in the bonus. They have to watch out because that is definitely going to help run up the score. And you don't want that if you want to come back if you are the Bears. But you have to know with 4 minutes left, are they preparing for just to go home, you know? Are they playing the game just to play?
I don't think any team wants to do that, but, you know, down 21 and foul trouble. The Greyhounds are in the bonus, and, you know, one thing you can't really do when the other team is in the bonus, play aggressive because, you know, playing aggressive is usually going to lead to some fouls, and they can't do that right now.
And we should expect to see the play on defense switch from aggressive to conservative from the Bears as the Greyhounds have possession. Connor Joya taking the ball up, closely guarded by William Watts. And then guess what is called? Another foul.
There's a foul.
Foul on William Watts, his second. See, at this point, you know, how many fouls each individual player has because, you know, Carmel's in the bonus, and they're almost going to reach the double bonus with the 2 guaranteed shots.
Yeah, they're close.
And the first one is once again good from Connor Joya. Looking forward for these Carmel Greyhounds. They will be facing Zionsville here on December 5th and Noblesville on the 11th. And they will be participating in the Forum Tip-Off Classic on the 12th against Perry Meridian, as both free throws are good. And Brian Waddell is here on the break. Open for the 3. I'm surprised he doesn't rip it right there. Driving in.
There's a foul.
Called on Brian Waddell.
And there's Merriweather.
Merriweather right there. The great attempt from right there from Waddell. You know, he's been very strong all game. 22 points right now. The opportunity to get more as Merriweather is fouled out of this game. 5 of them is very sad to see. But, you know, it's all part of the game. 9 fouls for Carmel, 1 more before the double bonus.
Yeah, I mean, like I keep saying, I mean, Waddell, we talked about Suter and Williams as well. They've been making some pretty good contributions, but Waddell's been the man tonight. I mean, nobody's stopping him. He's got the 3 ball. He can drive in. There's just not much you can do when you're the Lawrence Central Bears.
Making his second free throw. I'm sure Brian Waddell is having a fantastic senior night right now. 24 points. Shout out to Kobe as he almost gets the rebound, but there is a whistle on the floor. Once again, we are seeing a foul, and the Carmel Greyhounds are now in the double bonus with 2 guaranteed free throws. Honestly, at this point, it was inevitable, Will.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at the second half. I mean, I want to point out that, you know, Carmel, I feel like their production has kind of stooped a little bit. I mean, despite, you know, 57 points right now, they did have 34 at the half, but I feel like, you know, shots weren't falling as much, and I feel like, you know, they were just being more aggressive and getting inside and getting fouled. That's where most of their points were coming from.
The first shot good from Frishy. The second one is no good as the Bears are on the break, down 58-32 with 3 minutes left to go.
That did not look good.
And that is something that you never like to see as there is a stoppage in play. We will go ahead and take a look on what the Lawrence Central Bears have next up in their schedule. Their next 3 games consist of Lawrence North. That is always a fantastic game coming up here on the 9th of December, and Addicts for December 15th. And next, on the 18th of December, playing against Pike and Will. What do you think of those next 3 games for them?
I mean, of course, Lawrence North is always such a really solid squad. They have Butler commit DJ Hughes returning, and, you know, last year both teams were excellent, just excellent. And Lawrence North, they lost Tony Perkins to Iowa, and, you know, it's going to be interesting. I mean, looking at the Bears tonight, they're going to have to fight to win that one. And Addicts is looking really good as well. Jalen Hooks, outstanding. He's only a sophomore, and he's getting up there with Charlie Williams, I'll say.
Great talent from the MIC as we continue the gameplay right here. Connor Joya with the ball, top of the key, guarded by Gene Hooten right here, subbed out for Greg Jenkins. And Brian Waddell at the top of the key right there. Called for the foul on Brandon Barrett, his 3rd of the night. But once again, like I said, it doesn't matter. You know, they're already in the double bonus. It's just racking up on the stats, adding to the percentages for everyone, adding more point opportunities for the Greyhounds.
I mean, at this point, you really just have to back off. When they're in the double bonus and you foul, I mean, we've seen 3-4 consecutive fouls here on Greyhound possessions. I mean, you just can't do much about it. They're down 27 now, and you know, they've just fallen behind, and there's not much you can do with 2.5 minutes left.
As Brian Waddell makes both of the free throw attempts. And what we saw in the game last year between these two, December 6, 2019, Lawrence Central was in control of that one, 67-41, and we're seeing a complete opposite of that right now.
Yeah, I mean, we keep stressing the loss of Coach Davis and Dre Davis and Nigel Pack. Those guys made such a huge impact on that LC squad, but I mean, you can tell last year to this game right now, it's a struggle, and they're going to have to find something else, somebody that is going to put them on their back and really just carry this team if they're going to want to get some wins, especially in a tough conference like the MIC.
You're absolutely right. The MIC is a tough conference. If I may compare it to the Warren Central ladies basketball situation, they're figuring out how they're re-identifying themselves after the loss of Kaysa Talley and Alyssa Davis. They're prominent players. They're hyped for their team, but they are doing a swell job so far, 4-3 on the season, coming off of a great win against Pike.
Yeah, just 2 years ago, both the Warriors ladies and men's team were in state, and they won state. That was an amazing run to see. And, you know, things can really change when you lose those one or two key players.
And same thing on the football side. You know, that Warren Central team went in one state. You know, that was history made from the school. And they even lost their star players, you know, being David Bell, of course, doing a great job at Purdue. And the rest of their players, you know, they have sort of been trying to re-identify themselves through these past 2 years. But it seems like next year they're set to have a great run.
Yeah, no doubt.
With many of their young players.
Really, really young squad. And, you know, MIC, like I keep saying, it's a strong conference. And really, any year, any team could, you know, just surprise you, really.
That's the thing about high school sports. Coming off of the basket from Connor Joyce, 64-32, with just under a minute and a half left to go. Timeout on the side of Lawrence Central. It is, you know, you have to consider this game over, 64-32. But I'm interested to see how much Carmel's going to be able to run this up. You know, in the double bonus, getting these easy free throw attempts. And it's inevitable for them to be sent back to the line because the Bears are still playing this physical sort of play.
Yeah, you know, Coach Osborne just put in all the bench players, so it looks like you know, the bench players are getting some PT right now.
Getting those max preps highlights up. That is what you love to see. As we have the layup attempt by Jacob Franklin, resulting in the rebound by the Greyhounds. Burke Weldy taking the ball up, trying to sauce up his defender to John Craig. Closely guarded once again in that full court press set.
Surprising.
This
Very
is not
surprising
worked
at this
out game.
point.
And the
Nice
layup
block.
attempt by Samuel Orm, but that is blocked, like you mentioned, from the Bears defense. Leading in Jacob Franklin on the right wing. Back over to DeJohn Craig. Setting up the offense, passing to Amon Burns. Once again at the top of the key. DeJohn Craig near the sideline. Left wing is Jacob Franklin. Back on the line, going for the layup. That was,
nice
that was a
finish.
beautiful shot, resulting in the and one from Jacob Franklin. Let's see if he can convert it.
You know, you look at the mid-conference and teams like Carmel, they've just been so consistent for so long. Not just in basketball, really, any
like
sport.
you mentioned before, how many was it? 100 plus? What was specific?
171 state championships.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's not just basketball. I mean, this athletic program is just, it's really something special.
If anything, they could be the Boston Celtics of the mid-conference.
Yeah.
You know, always successful, and it's very great to see maybe even the Lakers more recently throughout history tying the amount of championships for both teams.
Yeah.
As we have the final seconds of this game, the ball held by Burke Weldy. This has been such a great game, you know, a great game by the 6-time straight sectional champions, Carmel Greyhounds. Once again, a great performance. The game, our coverage of the game is not yet over. We will send it to a quick break. We will be back on the MIC Network Game of the Week.
Thank you, Colin Pop Jones. Cumberland, this is Kyle speaking.
The pizza's here.
Great performance performance. For everyone, who do you think stands out? Who do you think is the player of the game for the MIG Network?
That's really tough. Just kidding. It cannot be tough because it has to be our guy, Brian Waddell, just lighting it up. Great game from him.
Ding, ding, ding. And here with Brian Waddell is our man in the stands, Gabe Brown. Gabe, let's see what he's talking about.
28. Dang. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Brian Waddell. You just dropped 28 points on Lawrence Central. How are you feeling right now?
Feeling good. Great team win. Didn't come out how we wanted to last week. We were able to pick it back up this week, and we got another one tomorrow, so ready to go.
And now you started off the first quarter with, I believe it was 2 threes right off the bat. What was going through your mind, and how are you keeping your team motivated to ultimately get this 30-point-plus win?
Just defensively. If we were able to dial in defensively, shut down the two best players, we knew they were going to have a hard time, and that would generate our offense. And I saw those first 2 threes go in, like you said, and from there just kind of kept me going and gave me a boost, I guess.
Well, congratulations. You had a great game, and best of luck on the rest of your season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Waddell right there. Thank you, Gabe, for the excellent interview right there. And, like you mentioned, like Gabe mentioned and talked to him about, it's so great seeing what Brian Waddell was able to do in this one.
You put out a performance like this early in the season. Senior night, you got all the families and parents in the crowd, just a really good atmosphere. You put on a performance like that, and, schools are going to look at you. And just really impressive all-around performance, defense, offense. Got the threes, and he's just a really special player, and the LC defense had no answer for him tonight.
You're absolutely right. He was the man with the plan, the man in charge for this game. Such a dominant performance, and it's so early in the season. They're now 2-0. It is going to scare many of their other teams with Brian Waddell, but also many of their other outstanding players in this game.
Yeah, you look at Pete Suter. Didn't have as big of a contribution as Brian Waddell, but still, points are points, rebounds are rebounds, assists are assists. They all matter, and especially in a mid-conference game like this.
Great stats from everybody, but still on the Lawrence Central side, we thought they were almost going to be able to come back in contention of this one. It still was a very great game on their side, despite the turnovers. They still had some great defensive runs.
Yeah, they did. You look at Josh Mickens, he was probably their most solid player tonight in a struggling Bears team. I was kind of looking for Greg Jenkins to get it going, but I didn't think we really saw much from him tonight. And you guys just saw that alley-oop. That was really, really awesome in a high school game.
That was probably one of my favorite plays in this game, if not my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
That is the second loss in a row for the Lawrence Central Bears, coming off of a loss from Franklin Central in an overtime loss, so very close.
Yeah.
So it's very tough seeing how they've had a season so far.
The pieces are there for Coach Gooden and the Bears. You just have to, it starts in practice and, getting those sets right. And, they have a lot of work to do. And on the other side, for the Greyhounds, they looked really, really good tonight.
And I am very excited to see what the rest of the season has in store. This is just a bit of what you'll be able to see from the MIG Network coverage of many of these games this season. We want to thank our sponsors for supporting us, for being able to be putting this broadcast on for you. It was such a great game. We have more to come. You have watched the MIG Network Game of the Week. I'm Christian Oates, joined by Will Matchett and our man Gabe Brown as our man in the stands.
The MIG Network Game of the Week is brought to you by the Tomwood Automotive Group, Papa John's,
Good stuff.
Marriott East Indianapolis, Grand Visions, and Frontrunner Media. You can watch the MIG Network Game of the Week on the MIG Network website, IndyStar.com, and WTHR Facebook Live.